It's that time for an all too early 2023 NBA mock draft. What is up, NBA fans, basketball fans, my San Antonio Spurs fans, as I'm a Spurs fan? We're doing a mock draft today, and this is by CBS Sports. I'll drop a link in the comments down below if you want to read this yourself. And yeah, you know what? I just figured I don't know next year's draft class outside of Victor Wembanyama, who I did a scouting profile on, and I've heard of Stu Henderson, but don't know a lot about him. And I thought it'd be fun to see who gets picked by which team and where CBS has these teams picking. I'm going to go over the first 14 picks, which is a lottery. I'll read the little blurb they have on them if they do have a blurb on each lottery pick, and then just kind of skim through the rest of the mock draft. While I'm doing so, drop a comment down below. If you see your team on here, are you excited that they may fit? Maybe you don't want them to be bad, but if they are bad, are you excited to see where CBS has them mocked? And are you excited about the player they have them picking? Hit that thumbs up if you like support a fellow NBA fan, and subscribe for more NBA content, especially if you're a San Antonio Spurs fan. I cover them a ton. Now, just for the record, I do know the first two picks as I was sizing this thing up. I do know who they are and I know where they're going, so that won't be a new reaction. Everything after that will be a surprise, but no surprise here, NBA fans. Victor Wembanyama. The surprise here, though, for me was seeing they used the Rockets first overall. As a San Antonio Spurs fan, that would just crush me. Crush me right here in the heart. To see an opposing team in the same state, same conference, get a player that obviously my team could benefit for. So if you're not familiar with Victor Wembanyama, he's a 7'2" center, and for several years has now been considered one of the most prized prospects in all of basketball. He's a game-changing defensive prospect, similar to this year's number 2 overall pick, Chet Holmgren, only with more length. And he might be taller than 7'2". I did a recent scouting report on him. If you haven't checked it out, it's on the front of the page. Yeah, he's very skilled. His offensive versatility allows him to score anywhere in the court. 3-pointers, dunks. I was very impressed with what I saw with him. The only concern with Victor is with his extreme height. You look at other players, Yao Ming, Ralph Sampson. Could he have an injury history? He's already had a small one last year. Hopefully that doesn't follow him into his NBA career next year. Number 2, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I was a little surprised to see here, Thunder fans. Didn't you guys draft like 3 players in the first round and drafted pretty darn well? They'll probably be a lottery team again, but I don't feel like they're going to be this bad. Same thing with the Rockets. The Rockets made good moves. So anyway, they have the Thunder drafting Stu Henderson overall at number 2 from the G League Ignite. He ranks number 1 among all non-Wembanyama prospects in this class. He started the past season as a 17-year-old with the G League Ignite. I didn't know he could play with the G League at the age of 17. Anyway, and has passing and scoring arsenal to be one of the most polished offensive players in the draft. Okay. Now, after this is all new to me, so very curious to see where you think my San Antonio Spurs are going to finish. So number 3 in the draft, Sacramento Kings. Tell you what, spoiler, dang it. All right, I know where my team's drafting. The Sacramento Kings. Keegan Murray has been looking fantastic in the summer league, let's say, at least what I'm reading. So Oscar Thompson from the Overtime Elite, 1 season stints with Overtime Elite, did not do particularly well for the draft stock of Jean Montaro or Don Barlow, 2 players with first-round potential who went undrafted, but Oscar and twin brother, Amen, are so obviously lotto talents that competition they face over the next year won't matter. Oscar has great positional length and amazing defensive potential. Okay. I'm not familiar with him. Do they even say what position he plays? What position do you play? That would have been a nice thing to add on here, CBS Sports. You mentioned where Wembanyama played, but you didn't mention where Scoot Henderson played. You're not mentioning their positions. That's kind of important when you're doing a mock draft. So clean that up next time. And there are my San Antonio Spurs. Nick Smith. Could you have a more boring, normal name? I'm just kidding. Nick Smith. I have no idea who that is. Smith has always been considered an elite talent, but he really extended this year, going from a sub-25, I just saw a word in there I don't want to see, a sub-25 level recruit to the number 3 player in his class. He's a smooth combo guard. Why are we drafting another guard? What the freaking heck? Oh, for sweet baby Jesus. I'm sorry. I mean, seriously? We just drafted 2 guards this year, and CBS, you got us drafting another guard. I know we traded DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker walked, but another freaking guard. Anyway, he's a smooth combo guard who can handle and score on an Arkansas team that features backcourt talent as well as any team in college hoops. Okay. Right along. Orlando Magic had a great draft this year as well. Amen, Thompson. So there's the brother. The twin brother, I'll say. Oh, did they mention you were twins earlier? Well, that we don't know, is a lotto talent as well as positional size and length to be a difference maker at the guard spot. He flashed some really impressive playmaking skills over the last year and could give his brother, who right now is seen as the better prospect, a run for his money as he continues to develop. Now, that could be a fun little storyline going into next year's draft, is which Thompson gets drafted first. All Sear, amen. Give me amen. Without the Magic be saying if they draft fifth, give me an amen. I assume it's pronounced like the religious word. And number 16, Indiana Pacers, Cameron Whitmore out of Villanova. Whitmore didn't finish his high school career as a top 10 talent, but he's already making his case as a top 10 pick in 2023 after a strong summer with Team USA. Good-sized wing who has a slasher's mentality and plays with an edge. Perfect fit with Villanova and fits the archetype of a wing that NBA values. Okay. Number 7, the Pistons. The Detroit Pistons. Holy crap, did they have an amazing draft. I mean, are they going to be this bad? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they get Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey? I think those were their 2 picks. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but if those 2 players can be the players they were in college and continue to grow, I think the Pistons might surprise some people in the Eastern Conference. I'm not going to peg them in as a playoff team yet, but if those guys both ball out like I think they can, they might be a surprise play-in team. Anyway, Wallace is an elite prospect who finished his high school career as a top 10 recruit in his class. He's expected to be a plug-and-play starter at Kentucky and should be considered a top 10 talent in the 2023 class because of his defensive skills and all-round scoring ability. Again, what position does he play, CBS? That is very important. Where are they? Charlotte Hornets. Derek, what? Didn't the Blazers draft 9th this year as well? Anyway, Charlotte Hornets. Derek Whitehead. Whitehead finished as a number 2 player in his high school recruiting class in the composite rankings. He has ideal positional size, bursting athleticism, and defensive versatility that Duke and soon an NBA team will really value. Where I mentioned the Portland Trailblazers, number 9, Anthony Black. The appeal here with Black lies in his versatility as a combo guard with great size capable of playing both on and off the ball. He spent most of the last year transitioning to playing point full-time, a role which at Arkansas could help him shine for NBA decision makers. There's not a ton of explosiveness to his game, but he has the finesse, positional size, and passing that reminds of Cade Cunningham. Real quick, those of you know I've covered Kai Soto on my channel a lot. Doesn't look like he's entering the NBA this year. Probably will stay with the NBL. I wonder if he'll show up on this list. Just wondering. Washington Wizards, number 10, Keontae George, almost done with the lottery. McDonald's all... I can go for a fish fillet of fish. McDonald's... What? A McDonald's All-American who has for several years been considered a one-and-done lottery talent. George is an impressive scoring guard who should be in line to put up big numbers right away at Baylor. Grooming his all-around offensive game will be key, but he's a sniper with range who can get a bucket from anywhere. All right? The Utah Jazz making the lottery. Okay. Traded Rudy Gobert, which I think was a great trade for the Utah Jazz. They got, 4 picks from the Minnesota Timberwolves, and aren't most of, if not all those, unprotected? And you got the Timberwolves that are going to be trying to do the 2 big man thing. I don't know if that's going to work in today's NBA. I'm not rooting against them. If Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, time will tell if I'm right or wrong. I'm a Spurs fan. The Twin Towers obviously worked for us, but that was over, I was 20. That was 20 and over 20 years ago. So Utah Jazz, they have been taking Dylan, you son of a Mitchell. So if Donovan Mitchell's still on the team, could they have the Mitchell bros going? Is he related to Donovan Mitchell? Probably not. I don't see it in there. Anyway, Mitchell was one of the lowest 4-star. Mitchell was one of the lowest rated 4-star prospects less than 2 years ago, but it has blossomed into a bona fide 5-star who finished as a top 5 player in the 2022 recruiting class. The Monteverde Academy product is a top-shelf athlete with great length and defensive chops. He will need to improve his scoring to validate lottery standing. Couple more left, NBA fans. The Magic have the two lottery picks next season? Wow. Man, that could be a player. I mean, they keep getting picks like this. At some point, you got to be relevant, start winning. Anyway, Derek Lively, Duke. This is a little low for Lively and the number 1 player in the 247 Sports composite rankings, in part because in a vacuum, I value wings and guards over centers. Did you watch the NBA Finals? I rest my case. And that's why I just mentioned the thing with the 2 bigs on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Look at the Golden State Warriors. Yes, that's an anomaly having Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Not every team's going to be able to match that type of most teams can't match that offensive firepower. But still, it is a more of a one big man or even a power forward playing the center position. One big man, I mean, a 1 7-footer and then wings, guards, etc. So the league has obviously changed a lot in the last 20 years, but especially in the last decade with the Warriors having essentially a dynasty. Nevertheless, Lively could and should slip into the lottery. At 7'1", he runs the floor at a high level and has the motor to be a difference maker at and around the rim. 13, the Atlanta Hawks. Arthur Kaluma out of Creighton. Kaluma finished his freshman season at Creighton on a high note, and he has continued on an upward trajectory this offseason, where he's shining for Nigeria in FIBA play. He's in line with the breakout sophomore season, where his size and scoring could make him a lottery pick. And last for the lottery, the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't think they're going to be a lottery team unless they have an unprotected pick. Do they still have Pelicans fans would know if you're watching? Do they have a lottery pick next, or do they likely have a lottery pick from another team? Are they still getting? Probably still have Lakers picks from the Anthony Davis trade, right? But with the talent on that team, and if Zion Williamson is healthy, and they better hope they are with the huge contract they just gave him, then I don't see them being a lottery team unless this is another team's pick. Anyway, Leonard Miller, G League Ignite, a lot of G League Ignite players on here. Miller, or at least a lot of G League players. Miller tested the NBA draft and had some first-round buzz before ultimately withdrawing and committing to the G League Ignite, where he'll spend the next season. The size, left-handed stroke, and ability to create from his position are all interesting tools, though he's still a very raw prospect at this stage. So that's the lottery, NBA fans. We're going to go real quick through the rest of the draft. They have the Knicks picking 15th, Kelly Ware out of Oregon. The Pacers picking again at 16, Terquavion Smith at NC State. The Miami Heat, 17th, Julian Strawther out of Gonzaga. 18th goes to the 76ers, Jarace Walker out of Houston. 19th, the Minnesota Timberwolves have them taking Amari Bailey out of UCLA. The Utah Jazz, again, no surprise, their own pick, and the Timberwolves pick. Number 20th, J.J. Starling out of Notre Dame. So if this is the Timberwolves pick, they had the Timberwolves finishing the 20th best team in the NBA. Or not the 20th worst team, I suppose, so the 10th best team. I think if you're a Wolves fan, it's Western Conference Finals or bust. You gave up the farm. I don't want to pick on the Timberwolves anymore. Best of luck to them. Number 21, the Toronto Raptors, Kyle Filipowski out of Duke. Great name. Man. And Filipowski for 3. I can just see that being a fun name to yell. The Pelicans, again, number 22, Jordan Walsh, Arkansas. Memphis Grizzlies, 23, Julian Phillips out of Tennessee. 24, the Charlotte Hornets, Grady Dick out of Kansas. What a nice drive by Dick. Great penetration by Dick, I'll tell you. Another name I have a lot of fun with. Number 25, the New York Knicks, Harrison Ingram out of Stanford. They have the Knicks finishing, wow. Rockets again. This must be somebody else's pick because they're not going to be, obviously, that good this season. Probably not, anyway. Chris Murray out of Iowa. Is this, you mentioned Keegan Murray. Is he his brother? Both out of Iowa. I'm guessing they're brothers. All right. 27th, the Clippers. Well, that's going to really depend on Kawhi Leonard's health or how much load management he does. Chris Livingston out of Kentucky. Number 28, the Golden State Warriors. Marcus Sasser out of Houston. 29, the Boston Celtics. Nolan Hickman out of Gonzaga. Number 30, the Phoenix Suns. Matthew Cleveland out of Florida State. And that is it. So, NBA fans, your thoughts on this? I think the top 2 draft picks are, I got to see that happening, barring an injury over the next year while these players are in college or G League or whatever they are. Victor Wembanyama going number 1. Scoot Henderson going number 2. As a San Antonio Spurs fan, obviously I would love for my team to finish number 1. We just traded away our best player, and it could be a very rough year for us. Of course, if you're a fan of any of these teams, obviously I would think I guess a lot of teams are going to be doing the tank for Victor's thing. And in the end, it's going to come down to those ping pong balls on who gets what. You could be the worst team in the NBA and not get the first overall pick. As a San Antonio Spurs fan, I saw that play out in the 1997 draft. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe my team was the 3rd worst team that year, but won the overall lottery and drafted Tim Duncan, and a dynasty was born. Whoever wins next season, now that will be fun to do because this is obviously a huge draft. I did a scout report on Victor, and all signs point to he is a transitional, once-in-a-lifetime franchise player, one of those players that comes along every 10, 15, 20 years and can just immediately make whatever team he goes to maybe a play-in to a playoff team. And be exciting over the next year to see what happens with him and the remaining I can't talk. Be interesting to see what happens with him with his career and also who ends up getting the number 1 overall draft pick next year. So I gotta think it's Victor, no doubt. Anyway, that's all I got, NBA fans. I thank you for hanging out and hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Until next time. Sorry. I was going to close my normal Spurs. Go Spurs, go. I'm going to close my by closing anyway. Until next time, and as always, go Spurs, go!